In recent news of geriatrics ruining our country, TikTok might be getting banned. First off, I know I'm a bit late to this, but I needed to at least make sure my blood pressure was down enough because the last thing I wanted to do was have a heart attack over.
This is not an attempt to ban TikTok. It's an attempt to make TikTok better. Tic-tac-toe. A winner.
I mean, what is this? This looks like the kind of crap I add to a presentation that requires me to be at 10 minutes, but I'm currently at 9. Also, I don't think that's how tic-tac-toe works. So here's the deal. TikTok, the widely popular application, could be facing a possible ban. The current bill that is ironically named the Protecting Americans from Foreign Adversary Controlled Applications Act was passed through Congress in seemingly record time with a landslide of votes voting yes on the bill, which will now lead to the Senate. From my understanding, this bill will act as a sort of ultimatum. It calls for ByteDance, the company that owns TikTok, to sell its side of the ownership of the app to a non-Chinese affiliated company. So like Mr. Wonderful, who apparently wants to buy it now, which apparently won't be happening, so at this point, TikTok, as long as everything goes according to plan, will most likely end up being banned. If you listen to a congressman talk about it, you hear that the bill is to protect Americans from China potentially tweaking the algorithm to spread propaganda or narratives not in the interest of the US, or maybe even preventing them from spreading like fake news, so on and so forth. But that's not the problem here. The problem actually is that TikTok is a type of media that isn't controlled by the US. So unlike Facebook, Instagram, or really any other form of social media based in the US, TikTok is sort of more independent, allowing the people to publish or get news from the non-traditional news outlets. Which, if you're the US, isn't good, because it means you're no longer able to push a certain narrative or even hold certain news close to the vest and hope it never breaks. The examples here being the East Palestine, Ohio incident, or even the current ongoing Boeing incident. And if you look at those incidents, the stories were all over TikTok within like a day or two, with people questioning why they weren't even bigger stories on traditional news outlets. And in some cases, it took about a week for them to finally be picked up and run on these news outlets. So at the end of the day, this entire bill really just acts as more of a way for the US to flex its flabby muscles to maintain control of the general population by saying, sell or you'll be banned from existing within the US. Which again, the ownership ByteDance has essentially said pound sand, and as they should, because apparently the US only represents 10% of what makes up the entire user base of TikTok. Think of it like this. You end up going to buy a home listed for $1 million. Instead of offering the asking price or more, you instead walk in and say, you're going to accept my offer of $200,000 and a buy one get one coupon at your local Denny's, or else I won't buy it. Guess what? They're probably just gonna laugh in your face because they already have about 20 offers either matching the price or even offering more than the asking price. And as they should laugh in your face because it's insulting. Also, the concern of China getting your data is stupid because one way or another, China is getting your data. Whether that be from TikTok or from Facebook selling it to another company that just happens to know a guy in China. The problem shouldn't be TikTok is taking our data and using it. It should be how do we find better ways to protect our data without banning applications that are used on the phones built in the very country that we're worried about having that data. Fuck! There needs to be regulations on data privacy across the board, not just on foreign apps, but also ones existing within the US, plain and simple. Also, the US was offered the ability to have servers in Texas monitored by a US company. So do I think this bill passes? I want to say no. Reason being is just that I feel like anyone with a brain could see the negative effects that this would have on the US economy. There are so many small businesses, creators, or even large businesses that use this for marketing that could be negatively affected by this. All of which have to pay some sort of taxes that are clearly needed by the US as we continue further and further into debt. Not to mention the unrest it will cause. I mean, you can literally go on TikTok right now and see the amount of people that are pissed with this. Look at Representative Jeff Jackson, a guy who literally built his entire political campaign through using TikTok, who, by the way, voted yes on this bill. Tried to explain it in the most ludicrous way possible, then deleted the video because of the backlash he got on that video. Let this be a lesson to all of you. The minute a politician is honest with you, there is poop somewhere in their backyard that they are trying to cover up. Lastly, and reiterating, this bill is not about the American citizen's safety, but instead a way to keep control over the general population and pushing narratives. At the end of the day, these people would discard you like a used condom and wouldn't even piss on you if you were on fire. With all the other issues in this country like housing, rent being too high, people being unable to afford groceries, shootings taking place on what seems like a weekly basis, banning an app that is from a country where 90% of the stuff we use on a daily basis is not the answer here. This isn't a priority. figure your shit out. Anyways, I'd like to know what you have to say in the comments section below. What do you think of the TikTok ban? Do you think it should be banned? I'd love to know what you have to say in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, great. Maybe consider leaving a like and subscribing. And if you didn't, well, it's not getting much better than this. Thanks for watching, and well,